Welcome, families, to Virtual Back to School Night 2020. This is Advertising Design. My name is Andrew Dumbeck. I am the first year instructor. At the bottom of the screen here, you can see my contact information. My email is andrew.dumbeck@beattytech.com. Feel free to send me any messages, comments, questions, concerns. You can also feel free to call me at 412-847-1917. That is my phone here at my desk. So if you need anything from me, don't be afraid to ask. Now, normally you can see these bubbles here. These are things I would like to talk to parents about while they are here at Back to School Night. Unfortunately, you can't see the room and stuff like that, but I'm going to do my best to try to fill in some of the blanks as to what goes on here in ad design. Basic subjects that will be covered this year. We're going to talk about the elements and principles of design. We're going to go into those even a little bit further to talk about typography, color theory. We're going to break things down a little bit more specifically for the students to build on all of those things. We're going to learn the basics of Adobe Creative Cloud. Primarily, we're going to spend a lot of time in Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. We're going to throw some other little smaller programs in there as well. Graphic design, we're going to cover looking at logos, making logos, what goes into a good logo, and we're going to make a lot of digital illustrations. We're going to talk about the basics of advertising, what makes an advertisement, corporate identities, how to attract a client or a customer, what's going to make them want to buy something, not buy something, etc. We're going to look at multimedia, the basics of computer animation. We're going to play with the 3D printer and do a little bit of 3D modeling this year if we get a chance. We are definitely going to get into some digital photography. We're going to talk about how the camera is a tool, how to use it. We're going to look at portraiture, commercial photography, etc. We will get into some digital video editing with Adobe Premiere. And we are going to learn about what production is, how production works using our equipment here in the classroom. We have a large format printer and cutter with which we will make stickers and other kinds of vinyl. We also have laser engraver / cutter, which we can use to carve and cut wood, metal, paper, cardboard, acrylic, a lot of different other kinds of materials. A typical work week in ad design might not follow a project being completed once a week, at least not this year. So take the days with a grain of salt, but the actual procedure or timetable is going to be roughly the same. So at the beginning of a unit, theory will be introduced as well as the project, like what we're going to work on for the next week or so. Notes will be taken during all of the theory. Also, an item of note, sketch assignments, which are a student's homework in this class, they are due on Monday. Now, this says as you enter the classroom. Obviously, not everybody's going to be here in the classroom, so if they are at home, this will be due at 3 p.m. The next day, or potentially a couple of days, students will be having their work day, so it will be time for them to start their project, to work on it, to really develop it. If they are here with me, I will look over their shoulders. I will make sure that they are progressing appropriately. I will give feedback and things like that. In the middle of a unit, students will take a quiz. The quiz will be on whatever the notes were at the beginning of the unit. They will have a handful of more work days thereafter. And then at the end of the unit, on the final day, students will take a test on the subject matter from the quiz, and again, the beginning from the notes. The project will also be due at that day. Now, I personally enjoy giving the students a quiz in the middle, and I want them to use that as a gauge to see how well they know the content. If they do well on the quiz, the test at the end is just going to be a slightly harder, slightly modified version of the quiz. If they don't do well on the quiz in the middle of the week, they know they gotta get themselves in gear and study a little bit harder, try a little bit harder to do better on that test. Speaking of that homework from the previous slide, students, like I said, are required to turn in a sketch once a week. The sketch assignment is going to be due online every Monday by 3 p.m. The sketches, unless otherwise assigned, they are open subject and open medium. They just have to be school appropriate. Students are permitted to work on their sketch assignments in class if they are up to date on their current project or if they are ahead. Obviously, if they owe me something, they should be working on the owed work as opposed to working on their homework. Students are permitted to do digital drawing for the time that we are designated as hybrid or online only. If we should go back to completely here in person in school, I may revoke that. I haven't decided yet. Vice versa, though, if we do go completely online or something like that, that obviously will become a permanent fixture, a permanent option. And just for your own notification, students do have the ability to earn bonus points with their sketch homework assignments. So students are permitted to turn in up to 3 extra credit sketches per 9-week grading period. That is a total of 12 extra for the entire year. These really help out if a student is not doing well with quizzes or tests, if they're not good test takers, etc. These can actually make up a lot of points if a student does choose to complete these bonus drawings. Absences. If a student does miss a day here at Beatty, if it is online or if it is here in person, it is expected that the student makes up for that educational time. Therefore, student must complete a makeup assignment. This is a school mandate. This is not my own ruling, but students will be granted as many days as they had missed to complete a makeup assignment. Below, you can see a list of potential makeup work. A student may choose one of these things. Most frequently, students choose the third option to do a makeup sketch to stand in for the time that they missed. But they are also welcome to, if there was any paperwork, any notes or anything from that day, a worksheet perhaps, they can do the literal work from the day. They are also welcome if it was a work day. They can go look up a news article or a current event, and they can write a 1-paragraph reflection. A reflection can be they liked what they saw, they didn't like what they saw, they found something interesting. It's really open to them. They just can write a paragraph to me saying what they learned or what they looked up. And lastly, if you know in advance that you're going to be missing some time, you can potentially negotiate a project. So if I know that a student is, say, traveling, I might ask them to go and take photographs of their trip, or I might ask them to look at something specific during their trip, and that's something that we can coordinate if we know something in advance. Along with the absences, it is the student's responsibility to request the work that was done while they were gone. It is also the student's responsibility to make sure that absence excuses are turned in. They can be turned in at the front office here in the school building if you would like to write a handwritten note. You can also send an email to absences@beattytech.com. Any makeup work, if it needs to be submitted online, you can send it to my email, andrew.dumbeck@beattytech.com, or if a student is attending here in person, they can just bring it with them to school the next time that they are here. Hopefully that taught you a little bit about our class. Thank you for participating with us, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please don't hesitate to stop by, call, or send me an email and let me know. Thank you very much, and have a great night.